three quarters of trash. The offense was trash. The defense was trash. There has to be some fight back. If they're going to allow that kind of physicality, my team has to step up and match that physicality, period. One team is physical and one team is not. One team is 3 steps behind and one team is not. They got all the 50-50 ball. I mean, they busted our ass in every kind of way, Michael. There's just no two bones about it. It's one of the worst games I've ever seen.
The Las Vegas Aces were supposed to be untouchable. That was the story. That was the prophecy. A dynasty in the making. A team built not just to win, but to dominate, to rewrite record books, to chase immortality. Their roster read like an all-star ballot. Their trophy case sparkled with back-to-back titles. Their coach, Becky Hammon, was sharp, proven, respected. They were the standard, the bar, the blueprint. And then Thursday night happened.
Coach, I asked Asia this as well, but what do you even say to your team after a showing like this one? I'd imagine, like, I know you believe that your team is kind of better than what you saw on the court tonight. What do you say after something like this?
There's not a whole lot to say. That's a complete lack of professionalism to come in here with that effort. Complete lack of focus. They played harder yesterday in practice by a lot. Wasn't even close. So I don't know how you step onto the floor with 20,000 people in the stands and perform like that. That's one of the worst it is the worst offensive night I've ever seen, as far as I've been here in the last 4 years.
Inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, before a sold-out crowd, the defending champions didn't just lose. They unraveled. They were outplayed, outworked, and outclassed. The scoreboard told one story. Indiana Fever 81, Las Vegas Aces 54. But it was the energy, the body language, the frustration that told the real tale. What was supposed to be another step toward history became something else entirely. A public humiliation, a 27-point collapse at the hands of a team the Aces were expected to cruise past.
This might be the most underrated move of the entire WNBA season so far. Aari McDonald deserves way more love for what she has done for the Indiana Fever. And for those of you that don't know Aari's journey so far this season, she initially was waived by the LA Sparks during their training camp. And fast forward a couple of weeks, Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham both went down with injuries on the Indiana Fever, and so they signed Aari to a hardship contract. She started with the team with almost zero practice, and she immediately fit in. Her pace, her speed, her energy, her attitude, her scoring and passing ability, she immediately clicked with the team, and it did not look like she had just joined the team a couple of days ago. She was quite literally a spark, no pun intended, for the Indiana Fever.
Caitlin Clark didn't even play. The rookie phenom, the league's biggest draw, the player who had made Indiana relevant again overnight. She was sidelined with a groin injury, wearing street clothes on the bench. And even without her, the Fever didn't just survive. They flourished. They dominated. They dismantled the champions so thoroughly that you could feel a shift in the league's power structure happening in real time.
Becky Hammon on the Aces. There is a complete lack of professionalism and a complete lack of focus. I don't know how you step on a court with 20,000 people in the stands and perform like that. That's crazy. They're shooting layups. I thought they were grabbing and holding us. It's a rugby match and my team doesn't want to play rugby back. They get their ass kicked. Oh my God. And to be fair, the referees were letting the Ace away with a lot. They were letting the Ace away with a lot. If I knew which one was coming, I could prepare myself better. Tonight, we put a third quarter together, and after that 3 quarters of trash, the offense was trash, the defense was trash. And we had one person score more than 2 field goals, and that was Aja Wilson. They just wanted more than us.
This wasn't just a game. It was a statement, maybe even a turning point, a moment that fans and historians might one day point to and say, this is when everything changed. This is when the Aces dynasty began to crack, and when the Indiana Fever officially rose. Coming into the 2024 season, expectations couldn't have been higher for Las Vegas. They were chasing a historic three-peat. They had Aja Wilson.
It feels good. Out of all of the non-Caitlin Clark games, this was by far a game where I felt the best about this team. Of all the non-Caitlin Clark games, this was the game I felt the best about this team. They shared the ball. We had, 24 assists on 31 shots. That's a good number. Inside, mid-range game, Kelsey Mitchell, mid-range came alive, took it to the rack. Couldn't really get going from the three-point line anybody other than Kelsey Mitchell. Aari McDonald, quality minutes from Aari McDonald on the defensive end, on the offensive end. 8 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Folks, let's get right into it, shall we? The Indiana Fever beat up the Las Vegas Aces. Beat up, folks.
Arguably the best player on the planet. They had continuity, experience, and one of the league's sharpest minds on the sidelines. This wasn't a team hoping to win. This was a team expected to steamroll its way to another championship. But beneath the surface, the shine was already fading, and Thursday night made it impossible to ignore. With that loss, the Aces dropped to 8-9 on the season, below 500, a losing record for the two-time defending champs. That alone was shocking, but it wasn't just the numbers, it was the way they lost.
Indiana Fever beat the Las Vegas Aces 81-54 by 27 points. We held the Minnesota Lynx to 59. We follow that up, holding the Las Vegas Aces to 54 points. This was a team win. This was a complete win. Offensively, they did what they needed to do. Defensively, they were hounds defensively. Attacking everything. Pressure on ball, pressure off ball. Diving for...
As a coach, what team you're getting on any given night, you have to come with your engine started. We would have won 5 or 6 more games if we just played harder. That is awful. That is awful. Like, the Aces, saying they would have won 5 or 6 more games is kind of crazy, considering the fact that they are 8-9. So she's basically trying to say, let's just say winning 6 games, so they go 14-3. She was saying if they'd worked harder, they'd be 14-3. I mean, I wouldn't be out there saying that. I wouldn't be out here saying that, you know, oh, we just got outworked today, because, I mean, like, you lost to the Valkyries by 30. Like, you've lost to the Valkyries by 30, and you lost to the Fever by 30.
They didn't just have an off night. They didn't just miss shots. They were out-hustled, out-defended, out-everythinged. The stats were brutal. Las Vegas shot just 26.2% from the field. Outside of A'ja Wilson, the rest of the team shot 7 for 43, a jaw-dropping 16.3%. The players not named A'ja Wilson combined for just 25 points. They had half as many assists as the Fever.
I thought they were grabbing and holding us. It's a rugby match and my team doesn't want to play rugby back. They get their ass kicked. Oh my God. And to be fair, the referees were letting the Ace away with a lot. They were letting the Ace away with a lot. If I knew which one was coming, I could prepare myself better. Tonight, we put a third quarter together, and after that 3 quarters of trash, the offense was trash, the defense was trash. And we had one person score more than 2 field goals, and that was A'ja Wilson. They just wanted more than us. I agree. I stand by that. It's really hard to know as a coach what team you're getting on any given night. You have to come with your engine started. We would have won 5 or 6 more games if we just played harder. That is awful. That is awful. Like, the Aces, saying they would have won 5 or 6 more games is kind of crazy, considering the fact that they are 8-9. So she's basically trying to say, let's just say winning 6 games, so they go 14-3. She was saying if they'd worked harder, they'd be 14-3. I mean, I wouldn't be out there saying that. I wouldn't be out here saying that, you know, oh, we just got outworked today, because, I mean, like, you lost to the Valkyries by 30. Like, you've lost to the Valkyries by 30, and you lost to the Fever by 30.
12-24, were out-rebounded 45-38 and turned the ball over 15 times. These weren't just numbers. They were red flags waving violently in the face of anyone still clinging to the Aces' dominance. Even A'ja Wilson's 29-point performance couldn't hide the fact that her team, loaded with stars, looked like a shell of itself. Disjointed, defeated, flat.
When did Indiana Fever turn into the best defensive team in the NBA? When? I mean, after that celebration from the Commissioner's Cup, we all thought they were going to come out here a little bit hungover. I mean, their defensive prowess has gone up 100%. In the first half, we have Aces down 22 points. We have only beaten Las Vegas Aces one time in 9 years. For those who do not know that statistic, we've only beaten them once in 9 years. Their defense is impenetrable. We have 28 points in the paint for the second quarter. We are shooting 90% from the field in the second quarter. This is insane.
Becky Hammon, always sharp with her words, didn't hold back after the game. She didn't protect her players. She didn't sugarcoat. She told the truth, and the truth was ugly. This was the worst offensive game we've had in 4 years, she said, and I've seen some bad ones. That would have been enough, but she wasn't finished. My team doesn't want to play rugby, so we get our ass kicked, she said. They busted our ass in every kind of way. And then, the quote that might come to define this Aces season, we would have won 5 or 6 more games if we just played harder. Let that sink in. This isn't about missed shots. It's not about schemes. It's not even about injuries. It's about effort, energy, desire.
CC gang! Fever gang! Down goes the punk-ass Las Vegas Aces, everybody! Kelsey Mitchell, the road runner, out there dropping daggers with a 25-piece Boston Market with the rotisserie chicken, baked beans, corn on the cob, mashed potatoes, every drink available. The tiny assassin, Harry McDonald, out there slicing through the defense, getting buckets. Asia crybaby ass Wilson, hold this L. You ain't nothing but a free throw merchant, goofy Indiana Fever. That's how y'all ball. I don't know what's going on right now, but y'all got the momentum. We can't wait till Caitlin Clark is back on the floor.
In Hammon's eyes, the problem isn't talent, it's heart. And for a championship team, that's the most dangerous thing of all. On the other side, the Indiana Fever didn't just win, they found their identity. For months, all the headlines have centered on Caitlin Clark. Her numbers, her impact, her star power. She changed the franchise the moment she arrived. But the question lingered, could the Fever win without her? Now we know, they can. And in emphatic fashion.
That area a lot, but what does it say about her that she's able to come in again and still be this impactful?
That's what we said to her. We told her at the game, we said, we're just thankful for you. We thank God for you every single day. I just think her impact, you see it. Even just looking at the plus minus, like plus 26. Like Aries' impact, whether it's scoring, but it's defending, it's getting us into offense, it's making the right reads, making the right pass. I think she's just been the perfect missing piece for us.
Be some fight back. If they're going to allow that kind of physicality, my team has to step up and match that physicality.
I knew it.
Period.
I knew she was going.
So we just get, because one team is physical and one team is not. One team is 3 steps behind and one team is not. They got all the 50-50 ball. I mean, they busted our ass in every kind of way. There's no two bones about it. It's one of the worst games I've ever seen.
Indiana didn't just beat the Aces. They ended a 16-game losing streak to them that dated back to August 2019. 5 years of futility wiped away in 40 minutes of dominance. Kelsey Mitchell led the way with 25 points and 6 assists. Aaliyah Boston added 20 points and 7 rebounds, showing the poise and power that made her the 2023 Rookie of the Year. And then there was Ari McDonald, a player signed on a hardship contract, now playing like the heart of the team. She had 8 points, 7 boards, 7 assists, and was plus 26 in the plus-minus column. Aaliyah Boston said it best. We told her in the game, we're just thankful for you. McDonald didn't just fill in, she changed the energy, she changed the game. And when Caitlin Clark returns, and with this version of the Fever around her, the rest of the league should be very, very nervous. This win wasn't an accident. It wasn't a hot shooting night. It wasn't a fluke.
I think you said earlier, a couple games ago, this was a team that sometimes you saw greatness and sometimes catastrophe. Have you ever been in a situation where it seems like it is like you said, one or the other, and it's kind of hard to know which one's coming?
Yeah, I mean, if I knew which one was coming, I could prepare myself a little bit better. But, you know, we go out to Phoenix. That was the best team in the league going into that night, and we put a solid 4 quarters together. Tonight, we put, a third quarter together. After that, 3 quarters of trash. The offense was trash, the defense was trash. And at some point, you have to say that's a little more us than, because it's happened to multiple opponents, with us.
Just 2 days earlier, the Fever had beaten the top-seeded Minnesota Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup final, holding them to their lowest point total of the season. Then they turned around and handed Las Vegas its worst offensive game in 4 years. That's not luck. That's growth. Under head coach Stephanie White, the Fever have become a gritty, physical, defensive-minded team. They're not trying to score 100 points. They're trying to shut you down, and now they're doing it with belief, chemistry, and resilience. They're building something, and they're building it fast. The Aces are searching for answers. They've already lost more games than all of last season. The offense is flat, the defense shaky, the energy missing. Even Becky Hammon admits she doesn't know which team will show up.
Like, the team's bad. The team is bad. Like, we can call a spade a spade. The team is bad. And it's fine to admit that. It's fine to admit that your team is just bad. And I understand if you're Becky Hammon as a coach, you're going to get angry because your team does employ A'ja Wilson. You would assume that when your team employs A'ja Wilson, you're going to be cooking. When your team employs A'ja Wilson, you're going to have a chance to win any game, any given game. And A'ja Wilson was fantastic today. And I mean this, like if Chelsea Gray had stepped up, or if Jackie Young had stepped up, maybe, just maybe, they could have been a bit better.
If I knew, she said, I could prepare better. That's not confidence. That's a red flag. This isn't just a slump. The Aces look lost, unsure of themselves, unsure of their identity. They're not just getting beat, they're getting outworked. And Hammond said it plainly. When people want it more than you, that's effort, that's heart. And that's exactly what's missing. This isn't about rosters or rings, it's about desire. And right now, the Aces don't have it. But the Fever do. With or without Caitlin Clark, Indiana isn't waiting. They're rising, they're defending, they're believing. Thursday night wasn't just a win, it was a shift in power. The future of the WNBA is no longer coming. It's already here, and it wears red, navy, and yellow.